Well, good evening, everyone. Here we are again. Uh, yeah, sorry for the interlude. I actually bought a couple of mics, didn't know how to use them, and I had to send them back. So here I am leaning over my computer again and about to tell you another tale. Yeah, welcome aboard. I got the name wrong last time. I had the recording wrong. I had the radio in the background. Do apologise about that. But yeah, we'll just work it out as we go along, I suppose. That's all the only option I've got, really. Right, so I'm going to tell you the story called Death in a Nut. It's way up in Scotland, a long time ago. There was a beautiful wee village not far from a bay, and on that bay sat a wee cottage or a croft, as people might call it. And the people that lived there were Jack and his mum. Very happily, very happily. Jack was a wee nimble lad when he was growing up, lost his dad out at sea, but they cracked on, and Jack was like, he just helped his mum. Helped her with the sheep, helped her with the cattle, helped her with the eggs, helped her with the vegetables. He loved growing vegetables, he did. But Jack was so nimble and so quick and so, yeah, so smart that they never needed a dog to round the sheep. Jack was fast on his feet and he knew where they were going. And he knew the calls and he'd always bring them in. Same with the cattle. And every now and again there was a boisterous cow or a boisterous bull, and Jack would be able to calm him and calm him. If he kicked off, if the cow kicked off, Jack would wrestle, and he'd learn to wrestle the cattle, and they'd all succumb to him, and eventually treat him with respect, and he'd bring them back in. But one of his favourite things to do was to go beachcombing. He loved beachcombing, our Jack. As soon as he'd finished all his chores with the cattle and the sheep and the vegetables and helping with the house, he'd go out and he'd collect. He'd collect flotsam and jetsam and sometimes like works of art of wood that the sea had shaped itself, and it was eventually strewn upon the shore, and Jack would collect it and take it back to his house, and eventually the house was gonna kind of decorated with all the things he'd found on the beach. He loved his mum. Oh, Jack did. Spent a lot of time with her, and every morning they'd wake up and he'd make her a cup of tea and he'd take her up to her room and go, hey, there you go, mum. Good morning. There's your cup of tea. She, oh, thank you, Jack. Thank you. Do appreciate it. And they'd chat and blether for quite a good while. But one morning, Jack got up and he set about his chores, got them all done, and went upstairs and with his mum to see his mum with a cup of tea. And she said, oh, Jack, man, I'm not feeling too good. I think I'm leaving, Jack. I can feel him coming. He said, well, what's up with you, man? She said, well, I just don't feel like a cup of tea. I've got no life in me. I'm not feeling very well at all. So Jack said, oh, mum, just take a couple of sips of this warm tea I've made you. If you want, I can go and whack a whiskey in it. That'll make you feel better. She said, oh, I'll just take a couple of sips. And she took a couple of sips and just lay back down and said, Jack, just leave me. I can feel him coming. I can feel him coming. And he's like, well, who's coming, mum? Who's coming? So, well, it's death, Jack. He's coming to get me. I can feel it. I know he's around. And Jack was like, oh, man, we'll sort you out. We'll sort you out. We'll get you better. Yeah, I can't live without you, mum. You've been with me all my life. You're my best mate. You're my mother. You're my friend. You're everything to me. I can't be doing with losing you. She said, well, don't you worry, Jack. Just let me have a kip. Let me sleep. And I'll see how I feel afterwards. So Jack, having done all his chores and sent his mum a cup of tea and all that, he went out and he went beachcombing to take his mind off things because he didn't want to lose his mum. He loved his mum so dearly. And as he was beachcombing, he got a bit further away from the house and further away from the croft and further away from the land around this beautiful, beautiful bay. White sand and rabbit mown grass, all the hillocks going down to the sea. He spots a shadow, he spots a silhouette quite far away. So he didn't think anything of it, and he carries on looking at the shoreline, see what there is to collect from the latest high tide. And the tide was starting to wane, it was starting to go out. And the figure got closer and closer and closer, until they came within speaking distance. He said, "Well, good morning to you, sir. What a fine morning it is." And the old man, with a withered cloak and scrawny, scrawny hands and scrawny, scrawny feet, with a pair of sandals on, with a hood over them, said, "Oh, good morning, young sir. I wonder if you can tell me where the croft is around here. I know it's around here somewhere, but I can't seem to see it." And he says, "Well, look, there's only one croft, and that's me and me mum. But it's just down there. You can just about see the smoke coming from the chimney." He says, "Oh, well, I'll be on my way. I need to visit that house." And Jack thought on. He said, "What do you mean you're going to visit that house?" He says, "Well, I've come to collect your mum. It's time for her to come with me." And Jack was, "No, you can't do that. You can't do that." He says, "Well, I have to. The time has come. She's got to go. She's got to go with me. She's going to walk the path, and I'm going to take her somewhere else." Jack said, "Nah, you can't do that. I'm not allowing you to take me, mum." I says, "Well, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do about that, son, because I am who I am, and I'm going to go and collect her." Jack was like, "No, you're not." And he leaped, and he caught death by surprise. He took his scythe off him and snapped it clean in half. And then he started wrestling him. And Death was a wily wrestler, and Death was a wily fighter, but Jack was stronger, younger, and more nimble. And they wrestled and wrestled and wrestled and wrestled, and Death would come back and start to get to Jack, but Jack would grab hold of him again and wrestle him again and wrestle him again. And this went on for a good while, and Jack was getting a bit tired out. He's thinking, "Crumbs, this lad, this old fella, he's got a lot in him." And they carried on wrestling and wrestling, and eventually Death started to become smaller. And as Jack wrestled and got more control, he became smaller again. And Jack was like, "Well, I'm onto something here." So he put all his might in and wrestled and wrestled and wrestled and wrestled and brought him down, and eventually Jack had him in his hands. He'd shrunk that much. He had him in his hands, and he said, "Well, I've got Death in my hands. He can't go and see me mum now, but I don't know what to do with him." So as he's walking along the beach, he finds a hazelnut. Sees a hazelnut bobbing just in the shallow waters. And he goes along and he kicks it into shore, and he has a look, and it's a hazelnut that a rabbit or a squirrel's got at, and it's gnawed the inside out, but left all of the shell. Jack was, "That was it. That's it. That's what I'm going to do." So he wrestles Death again with his hands and squeezes and squeezes and squeezes, and Death becomes so small he pops him into the hazelnut, puts his thumb over the hole. He goes out and finds something to plug it with, and he finds this little stick. He pops the stick in there, works perfect, gets his knife out, cuts it clean, and then he just chucks it with the outgoing tide. So that's it. I've done it. I've fought Death and I've won, and I've still got me mum. I'm going to go back and see how she is. As he's walking back, he can see there's more smoke coming out the chimney, and he's like, "Oh, I put that wood on ages ago. It can't still be smoking. It's only fresh wood that smokes, really." And as he gets close to the house, he can hear whistling. "That's me mum. Me mum's whistling." He goes, "Are you alright, mum?" She says, "Oh, Jack, I feel $1,000,000. I feel younger than ever. It's just like I've got this new lease of life." I said, "Oh, that's brilliant, mum. That's so good. Would you like a cup of tea?" He said, "Oh, Jack, it's alright. I've made my own, and I've made you a wee scone while you were gone, like." I said, "Oh, brilliant. Should we get some eggs and have a little breakfast together, mum?" She said, "Oh, go away and get the eggs, Jack. Go away and get the eggs." And off he went to go and get the eggs, and he got a couple, and he looked, and there was loads of eggs, and he didn't know which ones to choose from, but he thought he got the best two ones. And he went back down to the croft and said, "Yeah, man, there's 2 fine eggs here, but we seem to have a lot of eggs." I said, "Oh, brilliant. I'll put some butter on the old skittle and we'll get it over the fire, and soon we'll be having eggs and scones." I said, "Oh, it's brilliant, man. I'm a bit hungry, to be honest with you. I've had a bit of a busy morning." So he put the butter on the griddle over the fire, and the butter won't melt. And he's like, "Oh, what's going on, man?" I said, "Well, the butter's not melting, Jack. There's something wrong with I don't know, the fire might not be." I said, "Oh, well, I'll whack some more wood on there." So he goes and gets some wood, chops it up, puts it under the fire, fire's roaring, butter's not melting. He says, "Oh, well, just like, oh, yeah, well, it doesn't matter, we'll just whack the eggs in there anyway." So they bring the griddle out of the fire, and it's almost red hot. And Jack gets the egg in his hand and he cracks it on the edge of the griddle. Nothing. It won't even make a dent. So he hits it again as hard as he can. Won't even make a dent. And Mum says, "Well, what's going on, Jack?" I said, "Well, I can't break these eggs, Mum. There's something wrong with the eggs." She said, "Oh, give us a go here." So she takes the egg off him and she hits it in a special way. Nothing. Not even a chip in the shell. So, what's going on? So, well, let's just like boil them. Let's just have boiled eggs. So we don't need to griddle them. Let's just whack them in a pan. I'll get the water on and we'll boil them. So the eggs are boiling away. Bring them out after 3 minutes. Try and break them. Won't even budge. And Jack goes and gets one of his old wooden manners. Puts it on the chopping board with the egg and he whacks it. Nothing. The egg won't even move. So, oh, we're getting a bit hungry now. So they're away in the garden, Jack, and go and get some of your vegetables. So he runs into his garden and he picks some carrots. And he picks some parsnips. Picks a bit of swede and brings it in. He says, "Right, well, we'll have these. We'll whack these on the fire. This will be all right. I'll give them a clean, and you can chop them." So, "Oh, okay, Jack, I'll get the knife out." He washes them and gives them to his mum. And as much as she tries to, can't cut the vegetables. The knife just slides clean off. So that way, Mum, your knife must be blunt. I said, "No, I sharpened it, Jack. I sharpened it." So, "Give us a go then, Mum." And as much as Jack tried, couldn't cook the vegetables. He wouldn't cut. The knife just slid clean off. His mum says, "Oh, Jack, oh, come on, we're getting hungry. Away to the village. Away to the village and go to the butcher's and we'll go and get some meat from him, and go to the baker's and we'll get some bread from him." So Jack puts his little bag on and he legs it down to the village. It's quite far away. As soon as he gets there, there's a bit of a commotion going on. There's a crowd in the middle. There's a crowd in the middle of the village, just by the square, sitting by the pub. He says, "Oh, what's going on here?" And he goes and joins the crowd, and he gets his way through to the front. And he sees a few people he knows. He recognises the butcher, recognises the baker, and he recognises the veg guy as well. And he says, "Oh, what's going on?" He says, "Well, it's the weirdest thing," said the butcher. "So we've got a few cattle that are a bit old, and I thought it was their time, so I thought I'd bring them in and bring them to slaughter in the way I do, in the nice way, and I can't kill them. It's like my knife's are blunt. It's like everything's blunt and nothing will touch them. They're just standing there mooing at me." He says, "Well, I came to get some meat off you." He says, "Well, I haven't got any, Jack. Nobody's got any meat. There's a bit of a worry going on." And the baker says, "The same as me." He said, "Like, I've baked all my bread. I've baked all my cobs and my barm cakes. And I can't open them. They just won't open. Nobody can open. It looks like an ornament." And the veg guy says, "Well, I've been selling vegetables all morning and people are coming back saying they're too tough because they can't even cut them. I don't know what's going on." And the word was spreading from village to village. Jack was, "Oh, I have to go back and tell me mum. I'll tell me mum what I did." I'm not sure. Oh, God, what have I done? This is all down to me. It's got to be down to me. Because it wasn't like this yesterday. And away back he goes. And he only walks this time. Feeling a bit guilty. Feeling a bit sorry for himself. And he says, oh, Mum, I'm back from the village. She says, oh, well, get the meat on and we'll have something to eat. She says, no, Mum, I've got something to tell you. I said, what's that, son? He says, well, you know when you were ill this morning and you didn't want your tea? And you said you were going and he was coming for you. I said, aye, Jackie, I remember. I remember that well, but I'm feeling much better now. She said, no, Mama, I went down the beach. I said, yeah, I know you went down the beach. I said, well, I met him. I said, you met who, Jack? So I met Death.